So they just give these out to anyone these days, huh? 100,000 subscribers. Thereabouts. It's been a while since I actually passed the milestone, okay? Either way, get wrecked. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. To celebrate, as usual, I questioned you for some questions, and I'm finally answering with some answers. But before we get to that, a few announcements. First off, I'm looking for an artist to help with an upcoming video. It's a short story about time travel that I'd like to pair with a stylish animatic of a spacey technological nature. If you think you could help with that, please get in touch via the email linked on my channel page with examples of your past work, and I'll see who's the best fit and we'll go from there. Second, I was recently interviewed about my experience with science communication by the student-run science magazine at Imperial College London. It was a lot of fun, and they asked some super insightful questions, so if you're interested in my perspective on the topic, I'd recommend checking it out. Some of you are definitely interested because I got several questions about it for this very Q&A. The interview aired recently on University Radio, and they've since uploaded it to their YouTube channel, so follow the link in the description. Third, Diplomacy Media Wars is back, and I'm back in Diplomacy Media Wars. I'll be scheming and backstabbing my way through a game of diplomacy with some fellow content creators over the coming weeks and months. Look out for any update videos from them or myself. Final announcement, someone did this. It's cute and I like it and I want you all to know about it. Thanks to Yellow Markers on the Discord for brightening my day. But hey, so does anyone remember that this is a Q&A? Let's get to some questions, shall we? Anonymous asks, can you retire that stupid format where you have one intro and something goes wrong, and then you have another? Abena asks, why do you start your videos with, hey, so does anyone remember? 5 years ago, my first foray into video essays was my retrospective on the video game Paraworld. Retrospectives of old games are of course endemic to the landscape of this site, and I suppose I was trying to parody nostalgia bait with my intro, while still absolutely being nostalgia bait. So I asked if people remembered a thing, and then the earth-shattering subversion was that people didn't remember the thing, so I had to start again, and yeah, as a structural framework, it was serviceable. But then, when I finished that video, the next script I started was actually Mortal Engines, and I noticed the same situation applied. And a tiny light bulb went off inside my mind as I realized a thing happening twice is a pattern. To the point that when I shelved Mortal Engines to write a couple of other scripts first, I ran with it regardless. Hey, so does anyone remember isn't actually meaningful on its own anymore, like no one's nostalgic about the beginning of the universe. But it's the fact I have established a pattern, and now I can have endless fun messing with that pattern. I have an implicit set of rules all my video essays must follow, and testing their limits is a creative exercise. Does the phrase have to come immediately after the restart, or can it wait? Does it have to be said by me? Does it have to be in English? All manner of exciting loopholes are possible. Coda asks, favourite element? Samarium. Duh. Oh, but then there's also iridium. I'll get back to you on that one. Roger T. Frats asks, how does it feel to have over 100,000 pairs of eyes on you, eagerly anticipating your future content? Honestly, it's just kind of annoying, because when I go to filter comments by high subscriber count now, I just get my own. How am I supposed to know when the Wednesday Frog guy comments on my video? Beatrix Gabriela Kobold de Lima asks, do you say trans rights? I mean, people keep asking me to in these things, and I'm happy to oblige. So yes. Omran asks, what is your channel about, exactly? Good question. I like to think there are thematic and stylistic through lines across my videos that people will come back to despite the differences in subject matter. But honestly, I make videos on whatever I want and keep wanting to try new things. I admit that makes classification difficult. It's amusing to see people struggle to describe my channel in the wider internet. In-depth videos about things is a personal favourite of mine and almost became my channel description. But instead I went with a quote from the greatest comment I have ever received. I implore you to pause and read it and turn it into a copy-paster or something. So to answer the question, it's about things that interest me or I have fun making, and it's going to change over time. Video essays may hit the big numbers, but I'm not always interested in making those. Rain asks, What questions do you suggest your viewers ask, and how should they frame it as to increase the chances of you taking an interest and answering the question? Something extremely meta usually works. Anonymous asks, what question do you get most often when doing Q&As? Well, for this one, the clear winner was, what killed the dinosaurs? Very funny, everyone. I don't know why you're asking me, though. Just go to YouTube, in an incognito tab so your cookies won't influence anything, and search what killed the dinosaurs. And look, you can get your answer from the BBC, or Kurzgesagt, or me. I'll take that podium. Iris asks, do you prefer coffee, tea, or neither? Neither. Ryan M asks, thoughts on the Hbomberguy plagiarism video? I am glad you asked that question because I have thoughts. For those who have somehow escaped it, back in December, YouTuber Hbomberguy released a 4-hour-long video calling out various high-profile YouTube creators who had been engaging in rampant plagiarism. I watched it in one sitting the day after it released because I have no life. I don't have much to say about the specific examples of plagiarism the video highlights, as I thankfully wasn't following any of the creators put under the spotlight. I remember watching part of a video by one of them once, but dodged a bullet by not finishing it, because I have an inherent resistance to videos where the creator's avatar stands there sarcastically emoting for no reason. I mean, when I do it, the reason is it lets me do physical comedy. By the way, what happened to the 2 chainsaws I threw into the air earlier? To my knowledge, I've never been a victim of plagiarism, nor have I engaged in it myself, so I'm not the best person to ask about plagiarism specifically. However, it does lead very nicely into more general concerns about academic responsibility on YouTube, which I am a bit better acquainted with. As just one example, Hbomberguy mentions how some video essays avoid proper research and just lazily rehash Wikipedia. Not something I would ever do. Except when, back in my diplomacy video, I said that Isaac Asimov, Henry Kissinger, and John F. Kennedy famously enjoyed playing the game. I've since been informed by people who have actually looked into the topic instead of just getting fun facts from Wikipedia, that Kissinger and Kennedy's loves for diplomacy are most likely complete myths. I'm so sorry to have ruined your opinion of Henry Kissinger like this. This is ultimately an innocuous error in an otherwise decently researched video, but I said it so self-assuredly, didn't I? Isaac Asimov, Henry Kissinger, and even John F. Kennedy proclaimed diplomacy a favourite of theirs. Why would you not believe me? Lately, I've been unable to shake the feeling that this place is little more than a bar full of drunk people trying to convince each other of their personal philosophies. Hey, you want to know about stuff? I know about stuff. When the algorithm decided its favourite child was now my silly old video about dinosaur extinction, it gave the video 4 million views. Suck it, Croatia. And it gave me an even more intense version of imposter syndrome than usual. In fact, it was a weird offshoot of imposter syndrome, where not only do I not deserve any of the status I've apparently acquired, but neither do a lot of other people on this platform. Even though I made a point of it in that very video, I feel the need to stress it again. YouTube systemically doesn't care whether you know what you're talking about. It's no surprise that plagiarists thrive in this environment. I'm glad to see Hbomberguy draw attention to the state of affairs in such a popular video, but I have doubts about how effective it will be at changing the zeitgeist. Like him, I have no idea what the true solution is. All I can do is plead with you to be more selective and critical in your viewing habits. To that end, and on a more positive note, Julian D asks, what are some other YouTube channels that you would recommend? I've recommended many others in previous Q&As, pause now to see them all, but it's always nice to add to the list, so here are a few more I've come across more recently. To anyone who reached the end of Mass Extinction Debates and didn't immediately follow the link in the description to the music I'd used in the credits, you have disappointed me. The remix of Fossils from Carnival of the Animals fit oh so perfectly, and my video would have turned out a lesser creation had it not been for Alex Grab, who graciously gave me permission to use the piece in my video. If you're at all intrigued by the idea of rock remixes of classical music, you now know where to look. If, on the other hand, you reached the end of Mass Extinction Debates and wondered whether I was going to make a similar video on the historical debate over climate change, I had the same thought. Maybe switch out the stratigraphic conceit for a timeline with the Earth's temperature and CO2 levels as a backdrop and present the whole debate leading up to now to show those climate skeptics in the comments what's what. And then I found out that someone had already done exactly that. Dr. Simon Clarke makes great videos in general, but his trilogy on the past, present and future of climate change science is a masterpiece, particularly the final installment. Criminally underviewed. Go fix that, please. Also, I used to live in the background of Simon's videos, so that's fun. And at this point, I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention the gold standard in timeline-based scientific recaps, Bobby Broccoli. But I'm sure most of you are already big fans of his work, as everyone should be. There were many other creators I wanted to shout out here, but this script was getting too long. So I've instead put together a playlist of videos that I've decided are important. Some are impressive, some are unique, some are insightful, some are simply my comfort videos. If they released YouTube's greatest hits in disc form, this is what I'd advocate for including. Maximum one per channel though, otherwise the list would just be flooded with Captain Disillusion. Link is in the description, and I hope it's useful for finding your new favourites too. FE26 asks, what is the most interesting file you have on your computer? If you define most interesting to be contains the most amount of information, then what we're really looking for, in an information theory sense, is the file with the greatest size. And if I search for the largest file on my computer, what do you know? It's massextinctiondebates.mov. 4 million people can't be wrong. The first Rabuk asks, if the SCP Foundation got their hands on you, what containment class would you be assigned? I'm very boring. But as discussed earlier, I'm also unexplainable via mainstream science, so according to the SCP Wiki, I fit best in Euclid class. Does that mean I get to do stuff with lines and points not on lines and whatnot? I don't know much about the SCP Foundation. Snakemaster23 asks, what video do you consider your pride and joy? Even though it keeps coming up in this video and everyone on the internet has watched it and it recently won a tournament in my Discord server based on fan voting, it's not quite Mass Extinction Debates. I'm very proud of it, but to me it will forever be second to my video on the Stanley Parable. You probably have to be a fan of the Stanley Parable to get any of it, which might explain how it went under the radar, but honestly, I find it delightful, no matter what anyone else thinks. For an idea that came to me at 2 AM and seemed destined to end in a formless mess, I'm extremely proud of the tightness of the writing and ultimate execution. It's about the only video of mine that I regularly rewatch myself. All videos are equal, but some are more equal than others. Which reminds me, Mr. Kukurik asks, what hidden secrets are there in your videos that seemingly no one has found? Alright, I'll bite. The Stanley Parable is a game about the uncertain and manipulable nature of reality. My video on the Stanley Parable is also about the uncertain and manipulable nature of reality. You would think, therefore, that 12,000 viewers would be primed to notice that a quote by George Orwell of all people about the uncertain and manipulable nature of reality was fake. But no. Oh, and you would also think they'd see that an entire academic source I quoted and its author were fake as well. Maybe someone noticed, but they didn't feel the need to comment, so I win. You can give people as many clues as you want, and they still won't question anything you say on YouTube. I rest my case. Anti-Logic Charge asks, how do you organize your research notes for your videos? It varies a lot depending on the amount of research I have to do. For videos where I know the context already, I don't even make research notes before diving into the script. I promise that's a rare occurrence though. Most of the time these days, I research by putting notes and quotes into one big document, grouped either by source, topic, or section of the video. All sources identified and page numbers or timestamps noted where applicable, so I can go back and try and get the details right when I incorporate a piece of research into the script. I suspect this question was directed mainly at mass extinction debates, so here's the research document for that. It was in fact super fun to research that video, although it did take a while. There was a lot to it. Oh god. Tactical Ant asks, which book that I've read has been the most influential on my life? Setting aside those that I loved enough to make videos about, there are still quite a few to choose from. I think I'll go with The Music of the Primes by Marcus du Sautoy. It's the book that changed mathematics from something I was simply good at to something I could be passionate about. It's probably the reason I went and studied it at university. Honourable mentions for all the books and authors shown on screen here. Mitch Moe asks, as a music producer yourself, what is your favourite genre of music? As I covered in a previous Q&A, I tend to listen to a wide variety of music that I put into one big playlist in Windows Media Player because I'm still living like it's 2009. I even still have and regularly use an iPod. I'm so cool. Sorting by genre shows that my top hits are apparently rock, alternative and classical, which is fair, if unhelpfully broad. So just for kicks, here, in no particular order, are my top 10 favourite albums. I'll leave you to decide what that means my favourite genre is. And finally, Ryan MZ asks, you regularly talk about the success of your channel with a profound sense of confusion and a hint of dismay. Has your continued ability to captivate people by talking about things that interest you had any impact on your decision making when it comes to things what I do to support myself financially like? Given I evaded a similar question earlier, let's actually answer this properly this time. This is weird. I don't think I understand how to process it. I'm extremely lucky to have such a supportive audience. Lord knows the internet is a terrifying place, so I'm glad to have found myself in a largely positive corner of it. Thank you all for that. But this isn't exactly a natural state for a human being to exist in. It's just me, on my own, doing whatever, with an intangible audience of thousands. Are any of you even real? Am I real? Couple that with what feels like an increasing sense of animosity from the platform and the trappings that come with it. The things that I hope to value in creating videos, care, individualism, inventiveness, etc., don't seem to be encouraged by the YouTube ecosystem all that much. It's not that I want my videos to get more attention, it's that I wish the things that did get attention were worthier of it. Maybe there has always been slop, but it feels more aggressively omnipresent than ever before for some mysterious reason. I don't know, there's only so many times I can satirize the emails from marketing people offering to turn my channel into a content farm. At a certain point, YouTube expecting you to be dehumanized does kind of make you feel dehumanized. I went through a difficult period at the start of this year, for a variety of reasons, but general anxiety over YouTube was certainly one of them. It resulted in a significant loss of motivation, which is why this video comes 6 months after I actually passed the 100k milestone. I won't lie, I considered quitting YouTube altogether. I know, incredible that that's my reaction after passing 100,000 subscribers, but it's hard to feel any real sense of success from that, when I could have put in next to no effort and the great tasteless tongue of content would have lapped it up all the same. I don't believe making YouTube my full-time job would have a positive outcome on my mental well-being. At the time of writing, I have no need of extra financial support, so please direct funds to some other creator who's having a positive influence on YouTube. I'm still struggling with waning passion for making videos, but every now and then I remember why I do it. It's not for the trinkets representing a success I can barely comprehend, but for the fun of making something, for the satisfaction of improving my skills and knowledge, for seeing at least someone appreciate something I've made, for seeing someone add their own twist or perspective, for sharing the things I value. Right now, I'm tired of feeling negative about YouTube. Whether that will last, I don't know, but god damn it, I have videos I want to make and I'm going to make them. 4 of them, specifically. Beyond that, I don't know. But whatever happens, thank you all so much for supporting me up until now. I may not understand it, but I'm grateful for all your kind words nonetheless. Keep being excellent people, and thanks for all the Q&A questions. I regret to say there were many excellent questions I failed to match with an excellent answer, so hopefully you're not too disappointed about not making the cut. This was fun, and I hope to see you next time, because I have finally decided there will be a next time. Goodbye, for now. Right, that ticks off get weirdly personal in final section, and sudden reversal into a positive message at the end. Guess that just leaves... Yeah. Yes. Wait, I forgot one more thing.